Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of The Executive Edge, the podcast for skills in life and business. And today I have Laura Miller. Now, Laura and I haven't met yet, but I have just had a few minutes chat with her and I'm fascinated by what she said already. So I know you're going to enjoy this. Laura, it's a joy to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
So please give us a bit more about your background. Obviously, you used to be in business for yourself. I mean, now you run a business, but you were actually as a paid employee at one stage, weren't you? Tell us more about that.
I was. So actually I was only a paid employee for a very short period of time. It was about 2 years. So I got out of college. My background, so I have my degree in computer engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of college. I found healthcare IT, which is a nice niche for IT people. And I worked for a large medical group in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Doing, at that point in time, physicians weren't really on what we call electronic healthcare records.
Right.
So
that
back
was
in
the
the
reason
day,
why. Yeah, I was going to ask, why is it a niche area for healthcare? I mean, why is healthcare is it because
yeah.
IT fits that whole process of keeping records confidentially? I mean, what did you
I
find was so
think when
useful?
we think of tech, a lot of people don't think of healthcare, right? I think we think of our phones. I think we think of, video, I think we think so much of other things when we think of tech. I personally, when I was in college, never thought I'd end up in healthcare.
No, quite.
You would probably call me silly for not thinking that because my mom's a nurse. I grew up like spending the night in hospitals with my mom, because she was a night nurse, and occasionally that's what needed to happen when my dad was out of town. And my dad actually works in healthcare too. So it's strange that it never even occurred to me that this might be where I ended up. But I think it's not always the sexy idea of tech.
Maybe.
But then
it's
it's a
just
huge
normal.
part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge part of the tech industry, I think. It's just not what people think of.
So you had a short period of time as a paid employee, as you're saying, and then you you left voluntarily, or you had a really great entrepreneurial idea, or what happened?
So I had a really amazing mentor. And, I think so many women have these stories of somebody who believed in them. And I had that. I had this woman who was my boss. And she was phenomenal. I remember just meeting her in my interview and being like, I need to work for this person. And that's actually, I think, why I chose the job. It was not like, this is my dream job, I can't wait to go work for it. It was, I want to work for this person and I want to learn from this person and I want to absorb what I have to learn from her because I know this is where I need to be. And she was actually a consultant. And as she moved on, she and I kept in touch. And she started encouraging me to get into consulting because she's like, you have ideas that are bigger than one company. You have ideas that should be shared across different groups. There are a lot of people that need what you do, and you have a lot of leadership qualities.
That's great.
I was also 25. So let's level set here. As a 25-year-old, you're not going to get into boardrooms and everything else in a normal paid position, right? You don't move up that quick in corporate worlds.
Right.
Somehow you do in consulting. Somehow you can end up in those positions rather quickly in consulting. And I always had bigger aspirations than I think the traditional corporate world would have allowed me to move.